Hello, this is Ben, the artist formerly known as Grey Cat. I have a new computer and I thought what better use for my new 8-core than to play a 20-year-old game, so here we are. Please note that I am not a speedrunner and I don't consider this to be an official run in any capacity, it's just something I'm doing for fun. And truthfully, I don't think Claw is even that good a game for speedrunning. It's buggy, and worse than that, it's buggy in a very platform-specific way. Jumps that are easy on one machine might be hard on another, platforms that are slow on one machine might be fast on another. You can see this on YouTube in fact. So it's very unpredictable and it's hard to make an apples to apples comparison between one speedrun and another speedrun because things that are possible on one system might not be possible on another. Probably the best example of this that I know of is level 13. There's a part after save point 1 where you have to jump up some blocks up a waterfall, and the blocks disappear pretty quickly. When I played this at age 10, I was convinced that part was broken and that the game was just completely unbeatable. There was just no way I could get to the top in time. And eventually I figured out something where if I did a running leap onto the second platform and was just very fast, I would barely get to the top in time. These days, on a modern computer, I can play that part just fine. I mosey up to the top, and there's still several hundred milliseconds left when I get there, so figure that out. Here we are on the battlements, kicking ass and taking names. This has always been one of my favourite levels, or at least one of the levels that really sums up what Claw is about. Lots of treasure, lots of things going boom. You'll notice that this run has lots of less than perfect moments where I take hits or get slowed up or whatever. I really don't think that it matters that much having a completely perfect run through the early parts of the level, when it's the later parts that are the real-time vampires. You're not going to lose that much time getting hit a couple of times. What you will lose time on are the level 13 and level 14 puzzles where if you do them wrong, you'll lose 30 seconds. So, yep, don't sweat the small stuff. It seems magic swords don't work at close range. Has that always been the case? I like killing officers with magic. It's a Claw equivalent of lighting a cigar with a $100 bill. He hit me twice. Disgraceful. And no, there are no transitions between levels. I blame Fraps. Yeah, you probably don't need that catnip, do you? Getting power-ups is always a bit of a will-you-won't-you scenario. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Except for invisibility, which I would argue is actually worse than useless. At least where speedrunning is concerned, and the reason I say that is because when the enemies can see you, you know how they'll behave. Like, maybe they'll keep their distance, maybe they'll attack, but yeah, you know what they're going to do. When you're invisible, their behaviour is entirely random, so sometimes they walk into you, sometimes they don't, it's just harder to predict, it throws you off. So yeah, stay away from invisibility if you can. And this is what I mean by a time vampire. Actually didn't do too badly then. What on earth am I doing here? Just jump right, you idiot. Holy crap. Oh, tell me that didn't happen. Shit fuck. In professional poker, they talk about something called tilt, which is where you get a bad hand or a bad beat, and that affects your emotional state, so you start making mistakes, you start screwing up. Yeah, I was pretty tilted around there. Another catnip you probably don't need to get. I like it just because it makes the next puzzle that much easier. With catnip, you need to remember you are far less likely to die when you have it, so sometimes it is worth losing a few seconds just to grab some. And here we are at one of the game's most memorable parts, the level 4 maze. I'm hooking left to try and grab that invulnerability up there. I really do think it's worth getting. There's rats, there's spikes, there's enemies. It is a lot faster if you can just run through all that stuff. I'm conflicted about this part. I think it's faster to go this way instead of up the ladder, but I haven't tested that and I could be wrong. Nothing stops this train. Apparently Catherine was originally conceived as Claw's former girlfriend, but they changed it because, yeah, someone wasn't happy with the idea of the hero of a family game beating up his ex. Looky, a skull. This is a fun level to play if you're trying to get it perfect, but it's annoying to speedrun on. Birds. Enemies that block your attacks. I'm just trying to put my head down and get through it in one piece. Let's kick some ice. I wonder if it's possible to jump right from that platform. I should obviously be using my pistol a lot more. Don't do what I'm doing. How did I avoid that bird? Doesn't look possible. I don't get it. What does he need a map piece for? Isn't the shipyard in the town? It's like going to New York and finding a map piece of Brooklyn. Whatever. It always bothered me that a bottle of milk in this level gives you the same amount of health as 3 bottles of milk did in the level before. Maybe the milk in this level has more calcium. Can I resist getting that fire sword? No, I cannot. I'll mention just as an aside that I'm playing version 1.3 of the game. Out of the box, Wolvington is very hard, probably a bit too hard for his early placement, but as is the way of patches, they fixed him a bit too much. He's now actually the second easiest boss in the game. And we lost audio here because I turned my sound card off. I might put some of my own music over the top of this. And now we start what is another hard level for speedrunning, mostly because of the sand dunes. The hit detection on them is a bit unpredictable. It's very easy to fall off, at least I find. No, I shouldn't have tried to fight that bird, should I?
I should like to tell you that I have seen some of the experiments actually carried out.
It seems it must be possible to kill the crabs with a single strike as they come out of the hole. I've never managed to do it, but it would save some time. Don't get that catnip, I don't think it helps. Catnip makes you faster when running along the ground. I'm not completely sure it also makes you faster when jumping, but even if it does, that doesn't help me because I'm holding myself back during these jumping puzzles. I'm not going forward at full speed, so it doesn't help. And those were the last crabs in the game. Feels good. The head is one of the worst parts of the game, and it's 100% luck dependent. If that elevator is in the right spot, you can use your catnip to get up the ladder onto the platform. If not, you'll have to wait for a very long time for it to cycle around again, and you won't have the catnip. How important is it? Well, on top of my earlier mistakes, if I'd missed that one, I probably would have started the run again. It's that important.
Isolated organs can be brought to life, even though they've been removed from the animal's corpse sometime after death.
And level 7 is in the can. We're now on one of my favourite levels, the shipyards. Lots of opportunities for a speedrunner to go wrong here, we'll see how we do. The main thing here is health starvation. There is health in this level, but you have to break crates and go off into the weeds to find it, so make sure your health lasts as long as possible. It's really easy to run low. This level also brings up an interesting existential question. Do humans exist in the Claw universe? You'll notice on the figureheads of the ships there is a human angel there. So, does that imply that they exist in the realms of myth and legend? It's possible. If you need more health at this point, kill that sailor bear. He has some. You can either swing along the ropes or jump along the buoys at the bottom. The buoys are probably slightly faster, but we're really picking nits here. Still not sure how I died there. Now here's something I'm a bit confused about. Is it faster to fight Gabriel the normal way, or to use the catnip in the secret area to jump up top with him and, yeah, throw him off the dock? Just as a guess, I think a perfect natural Gabriel fight might be faster, but of course you're not guaranteed to get that, are you? Sometimes he throws bombs, sometimes he wastes time. With the catnip, all of that is in my control. There's no random element. Things happen when I want them to happen. So yeah, that's why I use this method. And here we are with Gabriel, the game's answer to Zoolander. So apparently you can get between a fifth to a quarter of the treasure in a level just by blindly charging through it as fast as possible. Who knew? Nah, I don't need that frost sword. Obviously I could have been quite a bit faster here, but the good thing about level 9 is that it's a level you can't instantly die on. There's no water, no spikes. You can be as aggressive as you like and just throw caution to the wind. And that is a lovely thing. I love it how there's just some random bird flying around with a single coin. Was probably going to decorate his nest or something. This whole section is obviously rather easy, but it's just a massive test of how well you can avoid fatigue. If you slip up anywhere, you're falling straight to the bottom. In fact, I was probably premature to say that there's no places in this level where you can instantly die. The fact is, if you fall on some of these spots, you might as well start over. You've lost so much time getting back to where you were that it's not really worth it. And like the level before it, this is another one where you can easily run out of health. There's just so many things, it's just a steady drain on your health that you've got to be aware of. I think a perfect speedrunner, which I obviously am not, would have a perfect memory of all the crates and exactly where to find health, so it wouldn't be an issue. But again, I am not that person, so I've got to watch out. Nothing's worse than having 5 health and having to pussyfoot around. I'm having a fairly fast run through this level overall. Well, this sucks. At moments like this, I try not to think of how much time I'm losing. It depresses me. Don't fight the dogs, you idiot. Jesus. And that's another level more or less complete. Now, onto the cliffs. This is kind of the point where the game gets brutally, sadistically difficult, so I don't think I'll go so well here. We'll see though. Wow, from start to save point 1, it's only about 40 seconds. That's fast. I don't normally notice a lot of this stuff because obviously I'm playing, so it's nice to just watch a video of it and see the game from a whole new angle. Were I a smarter man, I would have gotten the health on that crumbling peg down there. As it is, this is an area where I take a lot of damage very quickly, and that health would have helped me. You will see up ahead just how low I get. It was a very near thing. Yeah, I'm down to 15 already. How about that? Yep, now I'm down to 10, and that second bullet nearly killed me. Hey, since when do I have 29 magic claws? Cool. It's completely pointless getting this catnip, but whatever. Just so you know my thought processes, around here I'm noticing I'm running low on health again, and I'm thinking, Marrow is coming up soon, do they give me health before I get to the boss area? I'm just trying to remember. It turns out yes they do, but yeah, another moment of anxiety. If you're a speedrunner fighting Marrow, good luck, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. This fight has a heavy random element, sometimes his parrot doesn't attack you for a long time, and there's really nothing you can do about that, so yes, happy hunting. Hey, come back, we had a good thing going on. Oh, how did I not hit him? There we go. Don't let Marrow hurt you too much. You'll need at least 25 health for the next level. So, who is Marrow? We're not exactly sure, there's a couple stories floating around. In the Claw design document, he's mentioned as a very senior and respected pirate. But in a recent interview with the person who created Claw's characters, he mentions that Marrow is actually Claw's former mentor. Kind of his personal Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you like. He now works for Redtail, though. And no, the sequence of gems in this game makes no sense. Let's not get into that. To give you an idea of when I quit playing, when I left we still did not know how to do this. It was an undiscovered trick. I've seen other speedrunners and they use the fish to knock themselves down, and yes, that is the smarter way. Regarding this part, you can actually jump from the second ladder straight to the last one. You don't need to go around all the ladders. I suspect that's one of those things that it's easy on this computer, but it might be hard on someone else's, so don't feel bad if you can't do it. Level 12. When meerkats get hit by spikes, they become invulnerable for a few seconds. Why is that? One of the most inexplicable bugs I've ever seen. Just shooting the enemies to distract them. It's all my pistol is good for at this point. So, meerkats. Half cat, half fish. How do they resolve that deep conflict in their nature? I imagine they're always wanting to eat themselves. Maybe that's why they're so unhappy. These parts are just terrible. Really, I hate them so much. As an aside, I recommend taking the extra half a second to trip that flag. Thankfully I don't die in this part, but that's a decision that could have easily come back to haunt me. Is it really faster to go this way? That's another thing that would be good to test. Not even trying to pick up bullets at this point. Wow, this level has gone almost perfectly so far. And all the really hard parts except one are behind me now, so I can actually relax a bit. All I can say about Aquatus is that he's the most overt pattern-based boss in the game. You either know how to beat him or you don't. And if you do, he's actually one of the easier bosses. I'm trying something here that I haven't seen any speedrunners do, which is not running. My thinking is that it will save me time from having to run all the way to the right every time, and also I only need to kill 2 tentacles instead of 3. Obviously I lose at minimum 60 health by doing this, so it can leave me in a bad position for level 13. It just depends on how much health I have to start with, but I think it is worth doing. You want to stay off the block too. Aquatus's fists do 10 damage each, but his tentacles only do 5 damage. Now, let's flush this piece of shit. Mwahahahaha. 3 million points. Don't ask me how. Now, I only have 5 health, so I'm having to be a bit more conservative than I normally like. There is some health in the crate down here, though. I'm kicking myself here. I would have made that cycle, except I stopped to get the health. I wonder what would have happened if I just, like, ploughed onwards and just tried to survive with 10 health. I probably would have died. That's a terrible idea. But hey, I would have saved some time. Priorities! Here's the part I mentioned at the start. Yeah, just look at how much time I have, and how slowly I'm going. It's ridiculous. I don't recommend being this aggressive with vines. It's actually lucky I didn't wipe out here. As I watch this, my anxiety is going through the roof. I'm completely serious. I remember playing it and how close some of these jumps were. I probably shouldn't have pushed as hard as I did, but whatever, I made it through. I was very lucky though. God damn it, look at that, another flag I didn't trip. Seriously, if I had died, I would have literally lost more than a minute. And here's another terrible luck-based puzzle, which I breezed through. This is actually a very good run. I am really down to the wire here as far as health goes. He's just battering me. Okay, I have 5 health and I'm about to start the hardest level of the game. This is cause for concern. What's he doing? Moonwalking? So basically now I have a choice to make. I have extremely low health. The first thing that touches me in this level is going to kill me. I actually considered end-lifing here, because at least I would respawn near the start, but then I decided I would try and tough it out. I'd try and make it work. It was a risky play, but as you can see, I managed to scrape together enough health to keep myself from dying. You don't need that catnip at all, by the way. You can get the crowns and skull in the next area with just a running start. I think that might be the first skull I've gotten in the game so far. Health remains a major concern, of course. They just don't give you anything in this level. I didn't get the meat and grapes because it's only 5 health and I thought it might cause me to miss the next cycle. It probably wouldn't have, but that was my thinking at the time. I know I'm burning through magic, but there's only about 7 or 8 tigers left in the game, and I can jump over some of them, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. This part has the hardest, most technically demanding jumps in the game. In fact, you might say it's the part that separates the boys from the man-children. Once again, I've gotten incredibly lucky with cycles and so forth. Let's hope it keeps up. Gotta love it how they pretty much give you skulls for free at this point. It's like, here, take this! And there's another skull to the left if you're so inclined. Which I'm not. Now there's just this bullshit, then I fight her. To be perfectly honest, I wish they'd gone with a more action-oriented boss fight for Omar. Instead they just have you doing the same things you've been doing for the rest of the level. Just something different, something that would really bring the house down. But hey, at least it's a good hard fight. I don't know if you guys have played Blood, but the final boss just basically runs at you and dies. It's horrible. The most disappointing boss fight I've ever seen in a classic game is probably Quake. And if you don't remember what that was, it's literally just a blob that doesn't move, doesn't attack, you just walk along a path, press a button, and the blob blows up. That's it, game over. Though in that case it was defensible because nobody actually played Quake through to the end, they just got on the internet and downloaded mods for it for free, and it wasn't very much of a single-player experience. This fight is like Marrow to the 10th power. Nothing is actually that hard, it's just very long and very easy to make a mistake. And in this case, a mistake means literally the entire run is wasted, so I'm not very comfortable right now, but I'm pretty sure I can pull this off. Yeah, how do you like that? Shakespeare quoting douche. Some people I talk to say this is the hardest part of the game for them. I don't think I've ever died making these jumps. Which just goes to show, Claw is very system dependent, like I keep saying, so speedrunners beware. And with that, I think it's just about curtain time for Omar. Yep, we did it. I'm going to clock this run at slightly under 55 minutes. Obviously that depends on what you define as finishing the game. I define it as start menu to when Claw touches the final gem. If you define it as, say, until the final victory screen, you would add a few seconds on. If you define it as starting at the start of actual gameplay, you'd take a few seconds off. Either way, around 55 minutes is about right. Be on the lookout for Claw's adventures to continue into the third dimension. Yeah, what a tease that was. But hey, you never know, we did eventually get a Duke Nukem Forever, so there might someday be a 3D version of Claw. But I warn you, it will probably suck. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and a special thanks to my partners in crime at the Claw Recluse. Check it out. I still cannot believe a site I made when I was 15 is still being updated. It's just incredible. It just keeps going and going. Thank you, you've all been great, and I hope to talk to you soon. But not too soon.